Oh, and we in there. What it is, what it do. Peace and love to all the guys and goddesses and the high vibrating species on the planet. How we living out there, good people? What's going on? Academates. Come on. Come on in. Salute to you. Come on. Thank you for joining me yet again for another segment of these SCPs, a realm of the monsters. We got somebody trying to escape over here. We got an escapee, y'all. We got somebody trying to get up out of there. Where you going? If you D class, I don't blame you. If you is a part of D class, sir, I do not blame you. But this escapee seems to be a SCP. It's a killer. And yes, we do have numerology. What in the... Okay, this lighter's not cooperating, so we're gonna... Okay. For a quick second. Hope everybody good out there, though, for real, for real. Let me slide that back just a little bit. Let's get to that numerology, y'all. So we got SCP-3125. The escapee incognito has it. Okay. So the 3125 gave us an 11, which breaks down to a 2. So we're going to go with that 11, and we're going to go for that 2, yurt. And real quick, like, and if you're new, come on in. Thank you for joining the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, and subscribe. Shadow Law. Ace in the back. And please, in the back. In the back. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, so let's get that numerology on, y'all. So we got number 11, the double 11, double 11. Y'all should be familiar with that angel number, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, what we got here for the number 11 is new beginnings and doorway to the spiritual and physical worlds. There are other worlds out there, and obviously the 1-1 can help you engage in such doors. You got to know what you're doing, though, right? Let's see. Creative visionaries, master of deception, lies for no reason, bad-tempered. And for the tarot, we have the strength and justice card. Yep. All right. So for the tarots, you know what the strength and justice card is all about. So you take your mind with that information there, which we're going to get those tarots, so I can kind of give y'all a little brief of what those are, what they entail, just so we can use all the information that we have to dissect the SCP that we're dealing with. All right, so but for the number 2, we have the positives, the easygoing, the mild-mannered, the agreeable. We have the patient, the considerate, the cooperative, the gracious, the kind, the peacemaker, caring, persuasive, charming, receptive, diplomatic, understanding, which we get an understanding and overstanding here, modest and unwavering. And on the negative, so that's pretty much the opposite sides of the positive, for real. So we got petty, small-minded, deceptive, apathetic, shy, weak, hoarding, super sensitive, cruel, impatient, uncooperative, sly, insincere, inconsiderate. All right. So let's see what else we got. And we have some occupations here for the number 2 as well, y'all. So let's get that. Botanist, chemist, engineer, a mediator, a healer, a cook, and an artist. And it's the rulership over lakes, ponds, streams, water towers, beaches, docks, harbors, canals, oceans, and fishing industry. It's a nighttime number, intuitive connection with nature, duality, pair of opposites. Okay, and share healing powers with those in need. So if you have the power to heal, share your gift with the world. Don't just keep it for yourself, because that may come with a consequence. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, no? Alright, okay, that makes, you know what I'm talking about? And if you are new, hopefully we can persuade you to hit that subscribe button and join the Academates and myself and the team as we get underway and see exactly what triggers on these numerologies that we can get on this Escapee. And we're about to see who's trying to escape, and what's trying to escape, and why it's trying to escape. We should already know. But then again, there are some that willfully go into custody. So, yeah, let's find out what this thing is, shall we? So, I hope you have what you need, because I do. And without further ado, we're going to get to what it is that we do. Bus. Let's see if we can get this thing working.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Dr. Miller.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-3125.
It's a starfish.
Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3125 is kept inside Cognitohazard Containment Unit 3125 on the first floor of Site-41. This containment unit is a 10 by 15 by 3 meter cuboidal room clad in layers of lead, soundproofing, and telepathic shielding. Access is through an airlock system at one end of the containment unit. This airlock is programmed to allow only one person to enter the containment unit at a time and to remain locked until this person exits before allowing another person to enter. Under no circumstances may any coherent information be allowed to leave the containment unit. This includes written and electronic notes, photographs, audio and video recordings, sound, electromagnetic and particle-based signals, and psi emanations. During the exit cycle, a purge system rigged to the airlock flushes the occupant's memory by flooding the airlock with amnestic gas for 3 minutes. A senior Anti-Memetics Division staff member must visit SCP-3125 every 6 weeks or 42 days. End of file.
Input numerical passcode. Accepted. Applying anti-memetic countermeasures. Stand by.
Item Number SCP-3125. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3125 is subject to inverted containment protocols and is present everywhere in reality except for those places which have been specifically purged of its influence. The interior of Cognitohazard Containment Unit 3125 on Site-41, where this document resides, is the only location in the world to have been successfully purged in this way. This containment unit is a 10 by 15 by 3 meter cuboidal room clad in layers of lead, soundproofing material, and telepathic shielding. Access is through an airlock system at one end of the containment unit. This airlock is programmed to allow only one person to enter the containment unit at a time, and to remain locked until this person exits before allowing another person to enter. Under no circumstances may any coherent information be allowed to leave the containment unit. This includes written and electronic notes, photographs, audio and video recordings, sound, electromagnetic and particle-based signals, and psi emanations. A purge system rigged to the airlock flushes the occupant's memory by flooding the airlock with amnestic gas for 3 minutes during the exit cycle. An alternate SCP entry must be maintained in the main Foundation database, giving only technical specifications of the containment unit, provisions for senior Anti-Memetics Division staff to visit the unit's interior on a regular basis, and no description. Description: SCP-3125 is an extremely large, see full theta dimensional fractal topology attachment 13, highly aggressive, anomalous metastasized meme complex originating externally to our reality and now partially intersecting it. SCP-3125 is adapted for survival in an ideatic ecology considerably more violent and hostile than our own. Here, our own refers to human headspace, the set of all ideas which humans have, or are biologically capable of having. Because humans have no natural exposure to ideas as aggressive as SCP-3125, human minds have no protective evolutionary adaptations against it. Individuals possessed of SCP-3125 become incapable of entertaining weaker, conventional ideas, and become instead wholly bodily subordinate to the purpose of serving and disseminating the core concepts of SCP-3125. In addition, although undergoing no outwardly visible physical alteration, they cease to be externally recognizable as human. SCP-3125 is not yet entirely present in our reality. Upon its arrival, the highly interconnected nature of human knowledge exchange systems means that it will take no longer than 12 hours, possibly as few as 4 hours, to encompass, dominate, and replace all human thought. At this point, humanity as an abstract concept, along with all attendant abstracts such as civilization, culture, society, community, and family, will have ceased to exist. The Foundation terms such an eventuality an MK-class end-of-the-world scenario. The Foundation possesses numerous proven techniques for arresting the spread of such aggressive idea complexes, but these are all rendered unworkable in practice by SCP-3125's autonomic defense response or boundary layer. Fully assembling a mental picture of SCP-3125 and perceiving its true shape causes SCP-3125 in turn to be able to perceive the observer. It then attacks the observer, killing them. The mechanism of the attack is unclear, but appears to be at least partially physical. Mental bystanders, individuals whose thoughts and ideas resemble those of the observer, are also attacked. This invariably includes the observer's entire extended research group and often their close family, parents and offspring. The attack has the net effect of erasing all knowledge both of SCP-3125 and its attack from the world. This informational numbing effect performs a similar function to the anesthetic saliva of a mosquito's bite, enabling SCP-3125 to evade detection prior to its full incarnation. Foundation staff discovering SCP-3125 may be able to escape its attack via prompt use of amnestic medication to erase their knowledge of it. In either case, the net result is that the interior of a suitably shielded containment unit is the only location where it is safe to observe, record, or even acknowledge the existence of SCP-3125. Outside of a containment unit, a true written description of SCP-3125 would constitute a lethal cognitohazard. SCP-3125 could be effectively neutralized using a machine proposed by the late Dr. Bartholomew Hughes called an irreality amplifier. See schematics, attachment 129. However, as well as requiring tremendous material resources, this machine could not be constructed without its builders understanding why it was being built, which would require understanding of SCP-3125, which would prove fatal to the project. No means of neutralizing SCP-3125 using only the resources in this room is known. History. Due to the described defense mechanism, SCP-3125's observation history is almost entirely missing. In particular, it is unclear exactly how this containment unit came to be built and how these containment procedures were established. Much data has been accrued in this containment unit over the course of successive visits by Foundation researchers. This data was brought from the outside in the hope of being useful and left here in accordance with the containment procedures. In addition to this database entry, the reader will find multiple electronic copies of the Foundation database, academic datasets of all kinds, and extensive public news archives. As is to be expected, much of this data is not germane to the topic of containing SCP-3125. Nevertheless, correlation and analysis by successive visitors has allowed the following facts to emerge. Although SCP-31...
Alright, y'all, so firstly, just to let y'all know what I'm thinking already. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that this is some sort of angel. If you can call it falling, descending, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so because I'm looking at the aura coming off of it. At the same time, I've heard the description of what it entails and what it can do. Yeah, that's pretty much how certain things get down out there. But it's weird because I saw a name on the side of one of these tentacles on the other side. I was trying to like make out what it was saying. This looks like an eye all day, you know what I mean? But I heard recently, I can't remember, and I was sitting here thinking of where I heard it at, that some of the angels that supposedly fallen, when they hit this planet, I'm trying to think how to explain it. Whatever they touched is sort of like, kind of became them. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you got a particular angel or whatever that fell, and it touched a starfish and an octopus on the way to the ocean bottom. Blue, and there you go. You have something like this. So it hit the octopus. That octopus became a part of it. And then once it hit the ground, it actually landed on a starfish, meaning that's why the starfish is probably the predominant body of this thing. But that's I'm just throwing it out there, and not saying that that's what is. And like I said, I can't really remember where I heard that. It's just I heard it recently, and that's what I was thinking about. So I don't really, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily know for real. But that's just what's in my mind as of now. And this thing is dangerous, though.
125 is not yet fully present in our reality. Its indirect effects and foreshocks, for example, SCP, and SCP, are easily discovered by any well-equipped memetics research project. Memetics research is today a much diminished science from when it was at its peak. In mid-2008, there existed more than 400 institutions pursuing research likely to uncover SCP-3125, including government agencies, military branches, private corporations, independent laboratories, university research projects, and notable amateur groups. Many of these were groups of interest or internal divisions within groups of interest. None of these groups still exist except for the Foundation's Anti-Memetics Division. Almost nobody in the world is consciously aware of this decline, and explanations for the disappearance of these groups have not been forthcoming. Simple deduction gives that all of these groups eventually discovered SCP-3125 and were consumed by it, and that this is, in fact, the inevitable fate of all competent memetics research. The Anti-Memetics Division's persistence is attributed to its specialist training and its ready access to reliable amnestic medication. Despite this, the Division too has shrunk considerably in recent years, from a reported staff of well over 4,000 people in 2012 to, as of September 2015, 125. This figure is on track to reach 0 before the end of 2015. Over the same period, the Division's physical worldwide presence has similarly shrunk, from a network of sites and smaller outposts on every continent to this single site, Site 41. In particular, the Division's headquarters at Site 167 are now missing from the Division's collective memory and presumed neutralized by SCP-3125's concealment response. Addendum. Further analysis of the available data, specifically architectural diagrams of Site 41, Attachment 38, indicates the existence of a second containment unit on Site 41 conforming to the same basic design philosophy as this one. This second unit, S041B30000, was built 210 meters below ground level. It features identical broad-spectrum informational cladding, but has more than 1,000 times the volume of Cognito Hazard Containment Unit 3125, along with an amnestic airlock large enough to ingest a 20-foot equivalent shipping container. Information relating to the date of construction and purpose of S041B30000 is absent from Foundation records and is presumed to have been deliberately erased. The unit itself is hermetically sealed and has been for an indeterminate period of time. Regardless of S041B30000's intended purpose, it, like any such containment unit, is capable of acting as a shelter from SCP-3125. Addendum 2.
And the rest, hopefully, is blindingly obvious. S041B30000 was originally constructed to house a long-term project to construct Hugh's irreality amplifier. While that's been going on, the rest of us have been fighting an unconscious war in order to buy time. We have been losing. but losing as slowly as humanly possible. The time we have bought is now up. It's an extremely bad sign that nobody inside S041B30000 has broken the seal yet, but there is no ground left for us to seed, and there are no more bodies to throw into SCP-3125's maw to slow it down. Va is here, ready or not. I'm going to go to S041B30000 and use the machine. I think I can get the information out through the airlock. I think I can get to the vault alive. This was the plan. It's become garbled in the retelling because of variables, but I know that this was my plan, because I know myself. What else could it have been? Standard procedure is that I have to tell you what to do next if this doesn't work. That's the asynchronous research covenant. But I don't have a good picture of who you can even be. Reading this and alive. In your scenario, there is no machine. Hughes is missing. I'm dead. The site is ruined. And how'd you even get in here? Can you be the Foundation? Are you conscious? Is there a single word of this you comprehend? You live in a world bathed with SCP-3125. That's the lost condition. I can't help someone who doesn't exist. Martin Wheeler, Chief of Anti-Memetics, November 30th, 2015.
Addendum 3.
I found your body. And finding your body was a powerful disorientating sensation for me, I don't mind admitting. I used to know Martin. During the brief period in which I knew him, he wasn't one to admit defeat as easily as you. Still, that was a long time ago. Far be it from me to tell you your business, but I fear you missed a trick. From the evidence I can see, this was never the only Anti-Memetics Division site. There were others. I imagine they're now all effectively invisible to most passers-by, of course, just like this one. But I presume that they, just like this one, still physically exist. Your plan, I think, was in place for longer than you know. And since you weren't at liberty to retain its details, you put it into action more than once. There is another vault fitting the description. Truck-sized amnestic airlock and all. S167-001-6183. Site 167 is a non-entity, of course, which is most likely why you missed it. It's likely ruined, and it's quite definitely a long goddamn way from here on foot. But still, I think it's better than half a chance. I could die in this boondoggle too, naturally, as the world has become something of a horror show of late. In any case, I can trust that anyone following in my footsteps and reading these additional words will have the presence of mind to pursue the same basic strategy. Still existing despite everything. Adam Wheeler, Interloper, May 4th, 2017.
This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Dr. Miller, peace, man. Look, man, they holding the freak out, bro. I think that's definitely a fallen angel. And that's probably why he's trying to escape. Another reason why I say that, look at all those eyes. And every time we get a depiction of certain angels or that, there's always a lot of eyeballs on them. Excuse me. You feel? I think it has a lot of eyes, right? So, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? I have to dig into that one. Kind of see if there's anything that'll come up that fits the description. Cause that's all I could feel coming off of it. So like it had to be like one of the fallen angels or something. Like got some eyeballs on it. And but I don't know how true that concept is of when such fall happened that whatever they touched they became. But and then because on top of that, said they wanted to rule whatever they touched to or wherever they landed. They wanted to rule that particular whatever. So I got to really look further into that one as far as the research, because I don't know exactly how true that is. I mean, it makes sense in a sense, but I really want to do the due diligence on that and solidify that that's something that we could actually go with. In the meantime, yeah, man. I mean, I don't really. Of course, when it comes to the trigger words, this is like Master of Deception, definitely. I forgot to call out the occupations of the 11, but the only one that really hit was the psychic. You know what I mean? So that's neurological. But yeah, I mean, insincere, inconsiderate, a whole bunch of the negatives that we hit. You could kind of say that in a sense, depending on how you're looking at it, your perspective of looking at it. But at the same time, on the positive end, trying to understand the thing, how it really functions, what's its purpose. But then y'all got it as a keter right here, ketered, and it can really be chopped up as an MK class scenario, world class scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like world ending scenario. So I don't know, man. It sounds a bit, like I said, it sounds a bit dangerous to me, to be honest with you. Like, this one really sounds dangerous. Like, and then on top of that, you can't even keep up with it. Like, your memories, everybody's memories are being wiped somehow, some way, whether by the entity itself or by them. So, you know what I'm saying? They don't really, that's crazy, bro. Like, y'all don't even have a record to go by with this. You know, I mean, walking blind every time you're dealing with it. You get information and then you leave and you come on, man. What's the point? Like, what's the point? I don't get the point. It's a headache. But yeah, Academates, I hope y'all like the video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep y'all head on a swivel. I don't know if you're running to that thing unless it come out of the ocean or something. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely on some what is that, doorway for the spiritual and the physical world. You know what I'm saying? It's in, it's out. You know what I mean? So yeah. Watch out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's some weirdo stuff going on around here. Y'all keep your head on the swivel. Don't forget to keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally protected. Do not let the world drive you crazy. I know it's a lot of crazy things going on, but a lot of it is, you know what I mean, what it is, distractions. I mean, it's stuff is happening. It's real, but it's a real distraction. Even if lives are being lost behind it. That's crazy. How these things are just unfolding out there like that. So don't try not to, you know what I'm saying, be so involved, because it can stress you. It can really stress you out. You know what I mean? Even some of these things, kind of trying to figure them out is kind of stressing. Like, good gracious, like, what is this? And like, where'd it come from? And then y'all say, since it's gotten here, like, when was that? How long have y'all known about it? You feel? That's what we're here to do. You know what I'm talking about? At the Academy, that's what we're here to do. We're here to go through the files and find out exactly what's going on, because we know we are dealing with the masters of deception. That be Shadow Law and them 12 dudes and them 12 fams that they just on some other stuff, all right? And that's not just them. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. So, you know what I'm saying, a lot more species involved than meets the eye, all right? So we going to keep doing what we doing. Shadow Law. You know what I mean? We got to do what we got to do. You know what I mean? This is nothing against YouTube. You feel me? So this is just what we got to do. And I'm here to do the job. You know what I mean? Because y'all ain't finna just keep going over my head with stuff. And, you know what I mean? Because this is crazy how some of this stuff is just panning out. And it's down to a number. It's down to a number, and it's like got you coined to a number. You feel me, Academates? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So some of it may not be, but some I know it definitely is. And that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna find those that's definitely, and you know what I'm saying, and even those that's not, the idea came from something, so it exists somewhere. When we get into those real sciences of stuff, and that, like, what's really how things really go on, like the in thought process and the conscious mind, and how you can perceive. Like, if you can perceive it, then it exists somewhere, in some dimension, some time, some form, some fashion, some way. It exists. If you can see it in your mind, it's somewhere. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Academates, I am out of here. I got things to do. I shall return with more SCPs and more numerology, etymology, and all the other good stuff that we have delved into. I'm talking about. Y'all be good out there. Don't forget to keep your CT on at all times. At all times. Critical thinking is needed.